When I meet a girl and she has a boyfriend, I automatically just kind of put her in a box or in a category, and I just don't feel as inspired or engaged by her. And then when someone doesn't, I feel like they have so much life and prospect, and they are just entertaining and fun, and I kind of feel empowered by their individualism.
Yo, it's your guy at Flossy, let you know what's up and what's going down. Go ahead and hit that like button for your boy. So this article in Vogue entitled, "Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing Now?" has been causing a bit of a stir online. Now, I personally think that narrative is hot, steaming poppycock, but hey, there are a lot of women out there apparently agreeing, while others are also saying this is pure steaming poppycock, malarkey. But I'm gonna go ahead and let the author say what she gotta say. I'm gonna let you know I'm thinking.
For British Vogue, I wrote, "This piece is having a boyfriend embarrassing now." I know people have reading the headline, they're like, nah, nah, nah. But listen, for this piece, I interviewed a bunch of women. I spoke to them about why they hide their partners on social media, or they like post very inconspicuously about them. Some people said it was about privacy and this sort of unique, special privacy that you only afford your romantic partner. A lot of people spoke about the evil eye and this idea that, oh, if I post my partner, then people who are jealous of me will somehow, through their terrible vibes, ruin my relationship. Some people said that they felt as if they were scared to post because what happens when someone comes to them as a woman, or what happens when they break up and they have to, delete all the posts. And there's this whole feeling of like shame of having tried and failed to find love. And then there was a really interesting point that came across both people in relationships and single people. And this idea that like being in a relationship with a man and showcasing it to the world in and of itself was an embarrassing thing to do. And that's what I really wanted to get into. There was this idea of there not being a solidarity with other women. There was this idea of like a relationship just by default being something that rendered you quite uncool. I spoke about this podcast I came across where they were talking about, is it lame to have a boyfriend? And they say, when I meet a girl and she has a boyfriend, I automatically just kind of put her in a box or in a category, and I just don't feel as inspired or engaged by her. And then when someone doesn't, I feel like they have so much life and prospect, and they are just entertaining and fun, and I kind of feel empowered by their individualism.
What the hell y'all talking about, man? What the hell are y'all talking about? You are really vilifying humans working in their natural order. A man and woman wanting companionship with each other. You really vilifying that? I mean, I don't know whoever started this psyop, man. Whoever started this mission successful. You really have women out here talking about it's embarrassing to have a boyfriend. I mean, this sounds miserable as hell, man. It sounds miserable.
But interestingly, the girls talking about this on the podcast, agreeing with this idea that like girls without boyfriends are cool, are also in relationships themselves.
Exactly. That's another point. The same ones giving this BS advice be the same ones on Hinge, always looking for dates. You know what I'm saying? Crying at night, wishing they had somebody, lusting for men, lusting. And like she says, some of them already have boyfriends, but they spew out these talking points because they want to look cool in front of their girls. They want girly girl points, but you're just contributing to the toxicity. Like who are you helping? You know what I'm saying? Like who are you helping? Yeah, girl, you're so much cooler without a man. You don't need a boyfriend. No. Yeah, I have one. I'm not gonna tell you. But no, I think you don't need one. You're way better. It's like this inner dog eats dog competition amongst them, and they disguise it as good advice with good intentions. But it's really sabotage. If you ask me, smells fishy, always did.
And so I was thinking so much about how it is very uncool to be a boyfriend girl. It is very uncool to be a my man person. And I spoke to both just people who are on social, but also content creators and influencers about what happens when they post their partners, right? A lot of them lose a lot of followers, especially if they were already single. And this idea that now you are someone's girlfriend and you're posting about this, it's something that people automatically disengage from. I do it too. If I follow someone because they, I don't know, post their outfits and all of a sudden it's their boyfriend every day, I'm just like mute. I came here for a reason. But this is happening like across the board, and like just culturally, I think a lot of like the days of a man being a prize has really changed. It's really, really, really changed. And obviously this has come from like just the empowerment of single women in general, but also just how the trajectory of men and women are going in completely opposite directions. And now we're having to look at heterosexuality with the political lens that we've looked at other sexualities. And we really have to evaluate, if we are a part of this thing, what does it mean? And so it's a really interesting piece. I think people should go and read it and should go and check it out. And I've also found the backlash to it. You know, I think a lot of women in relationships will say, well, you know, I hate all men apart from my man. He is a feminist and he is a this and he is a that, and I shouldn't feel embarrassed and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, I think we have to be honest with ourselves. If people want to scream like, men are trash, I hate all men, men are trash, I hate all men, and then you shack up with a man and you're like, but not my man though, and someone says that's embarrassing, this is the culture that we've created and we fostered, right? And so I think a lot of people want to have their pie and eat it too. When there's nothing wrong with that, but I just think as we become a lot more critical of heterosexuality, I just think you can't sit comfortably in that anymore, which I personally think is a good thing, because it means that we are like deepening heterosexuality. We're thinking so much more critically about what it is we're engaging in, and we're being conscious about our choices, which I think is important. But yeah, go and read the piece. Sorry to drone on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Shout out to everyone that made it to the end of this video.
I mean, yeah, this just sounds like a tall can of Diet Coke. If one of your friends finds a boyfriend, knowing how difficult it is to really find a genuine connection these days, it should just inspire you, you know? It should inspire her to say, hey, if she could do it, there's probably one out there for me. Or if not, if I want to go about my life, she want to go about her life how she wants to, all good, you know? But to discourage her and attack her and call her not cool for having a boy, it's just lame. Now, I want you to hear this next creator. She definitely doesn't agree with this narrative.
It's just one person's perspective, one person's observation. Number 3, it's really not about the men. The men are just a tool inside of the psychological war game, okay? It's psychological Game of Thrones when it comes to other women. And let me explain. Women are never satisfied with what they have. They're constantly comparing themselves to other women, right? Feminism has become so perverse now that if you do not support other women, if you're not a girl's girl, if you're not a team girl, then they will lash out at you. If you are pursuing a relationship, whether you are married or in a long-term relationship, and your content is about that, women start to lash out. And the whole purpose and the premise of the article is how women are seeking approval and validation from random ass strangers on the internet and not being deemed male-centered or a pick-me. Because insecure, jealous, bitter ass women who wish that they were in a relationship are lashing out and projecting. Women are constantly comparing themselves to other women. This is how you can influence them to buy shit, because women want what other women have, to the point where it's almost scary on how some women actually want to wear the skin of another woman by copying every aspect of their life. Some people call it like destiny swapping or whatever the fuck. Others call it energy vampires, because women are just moving hella weird, okay? So to the men, I promise you, it ain't about you. It's really not about you being an embarrassment to the woman. It's about women seeking validation and approval of other women and not being viewed as a pick-me or male-centered. And so they are either soft launching their relationship or completely hiding their relationship, because women will go out their way to embarrass another woman with that "I'm coming to you as a woman" kind of conversation. Ask other men on how every time they go public with the relationship, other women will come flocking in their DMs because women want what other women have. A man is now viewed desirable and attractive, all because he's in a relationship. And when he's single, she's not checking for him. So don't get caught up in the title of the article, okay? It's not about you. It's about the insecurities and the desire and need for the validation of the opinions and the approval of random ass women.
Hey, man, dropping some gems if you ask me. But as usual, I want to hear what y'all think about this. Always love reading y'all thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe. Hope you have a beautiful day. Till next time, baby, I'm out.